You don't have to know what you want to do yet. Just try and pick a general field of interest, but know you will learn all that you need to know once you get started. My biggest advice overall would be to start early and give yourself like 3 times as much time as you think you're going to need. Starting early is so important because you can pace yourself throughout the process. It gives you more time to try different routes in your research itself. It gives you time to apply for grants, to get more funding, to be able to work in the lab and balance research around your already busy academic schedule.
If you're just getting started, I felt like the most daunting part of it was knowing what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. When I came to college, I didn't know what I was going to do. I often just pick things and I stay for the ride. So I think my advice would be, if you're not too sure on what you want to do, start big and go small. If you want to keep your thesis in your major, go for it. And then maybe start speaking with faculty members in that area of expertise. Maybe there's a research project you can join, or maybe there's some unfinished research that you could hop in and finish.
Faculty members and staff at OSU, they're working at OSU because they want to teach people, and they want to talk with students. They want to talk with students about something that the student's passionate about and they're passionate about. And so never hesitate to reach out to anybody. If there's something you're interested in, there's always support with the staff at OSU as well, or even undergrad support as well, if you want to connect with undergrad students in certain programs that they might have. But just don't limit yourself to something within your major or something you think might be too difficult. If you want to do it, there's ways to figure it out. And that's in the end going to be more rewarding because you're going to enjoy it more.
So number one, don't be scared to approach faculty. They're really excited when students are interested in their research, and they literally chose to become a professor, hopefully because they like students and like to teach. And also, if you don't have a super refined idea, don't worry about that either, because I literally just knew that this body of work sounded interesting and kind of asked for a project. And some professors might just like assign you a project like mine did, and others might maybe encourage you to come up with something yourself, or they might not have a specific idea in mind, but you can always brainstorm with them. And it's never too early to like start the meeting. You don't have to feel like you have to be super prepared before you like set up that first meeting.
Another thing that I would say is, take advantage of talking to professors and things like that. One of my favorite things about the Honors College is how involved we are and how we are able to get connected with our amazing community. So one way to explore your options and use this involvement to your advantage is to talk with professors that teach your favorite classes. And you don't have to make it formal or anything. Just like reach out after class, shoot them an email like, hey, I'm in your class. I think that what you teach is really cool. I was wondering if you could tell me more about the research you're doing. Just things like that. It doesn't take a lot of prying to get a professor to talk about their research. Most professors that I know, they're so much nicer than you might think, and they will go on and on and on about what they're studying. And if they teach a class that interests you, there's a good chance that their research will also align with your interests. And that way, when you do this, you're kind of creating a network for yourself of passionate professors that you can talk to, when you're trying to figure out what your thesis might be. It goes so much far beyond your actual thesis. This is how you can get internships. This is how you can get, good references for resumes and things like that. It's just a good opportunity to have. So I would say when you're talking to professors, you don't have to be too intimidated. They're not as scary as you think. And they're really, really good, valuable opportunities.
I recommend just talking to faculty. I recommend practicing talking to faculty about small things that are not about your thesis if you're nervous about it, because I wish I would have done that. Just get used to maybe forcing yourself to go to office hours or reaching out with questions, even if you feel like it's a silly question, or maybe you even think you could find the answer online, just practice reaching out to them, because it's horrible. It feels horrible to be nervous about it and know you have to do it and not be able to make yourself do it. That's what I suffered through. And so it really is not as scary as it seems, but not until after you've done it. So it's as scary as it seems up until you've met them and they're nice and they're, really helpful. And then after, you're like, oh, that was so easy. The other advice that I have is to talk to people about your ideas, because I kind of kept my ideas close to my chest. I didn't really go to find people to be like, hey, how would this work? Or, would this be feasible? And so when I went to Dr. Cheney, I didn't even have a clue of like how broad my idea was, because I really wasn't talking to anyone about it. So even if it's just your friends or TAs, or if you're not scared to talk to professors, just reach out. They don't have to be someone who you're planning on asking to be your mentor.
If you don't want to do a thesis on your major, in your major, branch out. I knew a girl who was writing a thesis on fairy tale stories. That was awesome. I was a little jealous that she got to that one before I did. Yeah, if you don't want to do a thesis in your major, branch out to something different. And maybe while you love your major, your thesis will be even more exciting because it's something that you've never done before, or it's something different and new. So if you're just starting out and you have an idea of what you want to do, write them down. I had a little Post-it note, and I had, I think, 10 different ideas I wanted to do for my thesis. And every time I thought of one, I'd write it down. If you're not feeling that creative, or you don't think you can think of a thesis idea, once again, reach out to a mentor, reach out to a professor in that department, talk with them. They love talking to students. There's nothing weird or scary about it. You just show up to their office or head by after class. If you have a professor that you really like, professor you feel is really competent and has a lot of charisma and seems like their research is really fascinating, talk to them. Maybe by talking to them, you'll get one step closer to a new thesis idea. Or maybe they can help you find a thesis idea that you can work on together. So then you have a thesis idea and a mentor all in one.
Finding a mentor that you are comfortable with, that you'll be able to work with on a professional level, that will support you, but you're also okay with getting constructive criticism from. Those are some of the most important things.
Just do something you're passionate about or that you care about, and it'll make the whole process way easier, because if you are going to be spending a lot of time on this, or probably a lot of time on this, then you want to at least be something that like you're passionate about and you'll get something out of, rather than just like hating every moment of it, because it's just a lot more fulfilling if it's something you actually want to do or care about or could see yourself doing in the future.